Hello there. Hello, everybody in Facebook Live land. And we promised you guys, I promised you guys that I'm going to do something fun with you today. So I hope that host chat, public chat, A, I'm going to pray to the internet gods that it goes well, and B, we're here to talk about your personal brand. Do you like my mug? Ew, David. Schitt's Creek fans, any in the house? Yeah, funny Canadian stuff over here. Hope I just made this, so hopefully I'll get a chance to sip it as we go. But anyway, I am here today to talk about your personal brand. This is what we want to start the new year off, guys, because the first thing we're going to talk about today is what even is it, right? There's a personal brand, professional brand. What we have here is a presentation that I'm actually going to show in my stream right now. Let's get started. This is about today declaring who you are, okay, in person and online. We're going to do a little bit of fun stuff. This is a presentation that I have actually adapted for you guys a little bit. So this is not something that I would deliver on my course or whatever, but it's along the same lines. I want you to think of this as the prep, as the sowing of the seeds. I want you to think of this as maybe the first time you've done something like this in 2021 or ever. And it's because of this. Today we can no longer think of our businesses or the side businesses we run, and then I also do this, but I also am good at that, and I make money over here. We can't compartmentalize what we do any longer. It takes too much of our time. It doesn't bring in enough money. It's confusing people. And today, in this day and age, we've got to be vigilant, and we cannot confuse people anymore. And we want to give them our best stuff. Yeah. So if you and I can agree on those two things, I don't want to confuse people anymore. Hell, I don't want to be confused. And I want to give people my best stuff. If that is the goal, if that is what you've agreed to change this year, then this is going to be the perfect first step to take. Okay. I go a little bit beyond this, obviously, if we get further ingrained and get to know each other, but this is a great start. So I encourage you to take out a pencil. If you want to be like, you know what, I love this, I don't have the time to do this now, catch it on the replay and do it. I'm just going to shut down a couple windows just to make sure I have ultimate power in this presentation. Okay, so your personal brand. This is about declaring who you are in person and online. So here we go. First thing, what is a personal brand? And probably the next question that if you haven't asked yourself before, maybe you have, and maybe it's obvious to you. But usually people ask that question, do I need one? Like, do I need one? Or I've been told I need one, or I know I need one, know where to start. But what is it? If you can start thinking of it in very simple terms, I'm going to give you 2 ways to think about this personal brand and why you need one. Because today, number one, what this brand is going to do, it's going to point people to you. Point people to you. Make it easy. Make it clear. Give them a place to go. A lot of you are still doing information sharing. A lot of you are still doing one-off speaking events. A lot of you are still doing, I wrote the book, but like I don't have a website or whatever. I'm not trying to slap your wrist. I'm actually saying that after those speeches and after you've had that great discussion and after you've stood up at that meeting, no one knows where to find you, or no one knows where to go, wherever it is, to get a clear snapshot of, holy crap, this person has their shit together. And if I have that problem, I'm probably going to ask them for the solution. Okay. It points people to you. Another thing your brand does is your personal brand. It gets you paid what you're worth. Can you imagine? The more focused and niche you can make yourself, you are able automatically to charge more money. Sounds crass, but charge more money for people landing on your space and sphere of expertise. Okay, this is a little bit of that letting go piece from my webinar about you gotta let go of a few of the things you used to do. You gotta let go of hanging on to that old whatever model or partner or the clients that brought you down. What parts do you hate? There's a little bit of sifting through here, because the personal brand, when they get to that place that you've pointed them to, you automatically put yourself in another category, because to them, you understand what you're worth. Okay, do you get that? When you got your personal brand locked in, people think you understand what you're worth. Like, you know, and it's not that we're here to fool and trick people. You actually have to understand what you're worth and why you charge this and not that. You know, we're not going to get into that today. This is all along the path to being an expert, guys. Experts, what do you think? They make peanuts and they're settled. They're okay making whatever, taking home a couple $100, couple K a month? No. Experts get paid what they're worth. So, you know, step one of that is having this place where people go, where they understand and say, oh, okay, right. Poof, it's here, and she knows what she's talking about. He knows what he's doing. And if I have that problem, he can likely solve it. That's really important. I'm giving you little clues. Okay, let's get off this. I'm kind of harping on. This I want you to take today as a place to start. But also, here's a couple things. If you think you've done this process before, getting your personal brand together, you can start in one of two places. And you can do this really quickly. You can create your personal brand if you want in one afternoon. Okay, now you're thinking, that's impossible. I've been trying for 3 years. I get it. But I'm saying, listen, gun to your head type of thing. You gotta come up with something very clear. Here are your two options where you might want to start. And it depends on your personality. Option one, you can either be very, 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 very clear about who you are. Okay? You can either be very, very clear about who you are, who I'm on earth here to help, who, you know, I've done enough work. I've listened to enough of Amanda's videos where she tells me about this stuff and what the questions I should be asking myself. And, you know, I've done a lot of work, and I think I'm really clear about, you know, who I am as a professional. Let's make this not just a personal brand thing, but like a expert business owner, who I'm here to help, the value that has to them. I know my skills and how I apply it to solve that problem. And I know very, very well who I am. If you've done that, then give yourself a round of applause. Some of you are still working on that. That takes guidance. Now, if you have that on a general level, it's a place to start. If you have tried this and you are like, I cannot do this for the life of me. I get so muddled. I don't know who I am because I have like 3 things in this column and 10 things in this column. And if it just starts to stress you out, let's try a different option. And again, this is personality based. Can you be very, very, very clear about what sets you apart? And these are questions you would ask. Well, I definitely don't do this. I definitely don't like to do things this way. Are you opinionated? Are you, not a bad thing and at all. Are you, do you hate, do certain things set you off? Do you hate certain things about your industry that you see in your company, that you see other professionals doing with people? Like whatever it is, this is a very good clue. Pay attention to what sets you apart. So that might be a better strategy for a personality like yours. It's like, well, I'm done with all the foo-foo who I am stuff, but I know what I don't like. And guys, that might be a place to start for you, okay? Because guess what? In the field of setting yourself apart as an expert and getting your brand together, you're going to have to be clear about what sets you apart anyway. So it's part of the process. But if that's more of the part you're comfortable with, then start there. I want to be clear that today, this exercise is, because what we're going to do next is a few exercises. There are 3 options, and it's not to have you coming away in whatever, 30 minutes or however long I'm here, you know, with an all-out brand. But I guarantee you, you're going to tap into some stuff you either have never before, or you're going to start to understand what it's going to take. And where I want to leave you is excited, okay? So stick with me. I'm just going to check in here real quick. I'm not allowed to comment, but I can see your comments. I'm going to be going and maybe jumping back once in a while. I have no problem answering questions as they come through my feed. I have just no control over how fast the feed is. Although my internet connection seems really good today, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? So feel free to do that, and I'm going to do my best. So let's move on to the 3 exercises. First one, this could take a while. And if you're really, really, really liking this and you're like, Amanda, I would love to do this with you, I am going to say we can do that a different time. But here's how this exercise works, is I call it the tale of 2 heroes, okay? And this is going to be 2 versions of yourself, 2 versions of a person. It's 2 versions of you, and I'll explain in a second. I need to get a pencil and a pen. Here we go. So if you have your pencil and pen, and you just kind of put a line down the center of your page, okay? You're going to have a person on the left, and I want this to be like kind of you. Picture in your mind, it's you, but it's like the blah version of you, not the blah version. It's like, it's just you, whatever. It's you today. It's just how you see yourself as, okay? Don't write anything yet. On the other side, I want you to envision this other you, okay? And he might be wearing something very different. There is something about this superhero version. And in my vision, it gets very electric. So when I do this work, and I've done this work with other mentors and coaches who've coached me, but when I do this work, it's almost an electricity. This person, her hair is electric. It has tones of auburn. Like, I get very descriptive. So if you want to start writing down some of those descriptions, that's fine, because this persona, this electric person here on the right-hand column, maybe they're wearing the same jacket, but it just fits better. Or maybe they like look taller in those shoes, and you can't quite put your finger on it. But this is someone that emanates this confidence that you may not think you are close to, okay? Just whatever it is. And maybe if it's not confidence, it's success. It's, friendliness. It's this gregarious optimism, whatever those traits are that you're envisioning. I don't want to put my words in your exercise, so I'll be careful. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to write out some character stories, not long stories. I'm going to give you 3 questions to answer. You're going to answer them from person number 1, let's call him the blah you. Then you're going to answer them from person number 2, the superhero you. And you're going to find that they both serve a purpose. This is also a version of, a little version of the sieve exercise I have in my webinar, where you put kind of everything in and you sift out what comes to the surface. You start to find patterns and similarities. I will go through this quickly. Like I said, if you enjoyed the exercise, or you'd like even a written out version of the exercise, maybe that's what I could do. I could like type it out and you take your time and do it. So the first question is, what does person on the left column, okay? What does the blah me, the blah Amanda, she's like wearing a gray pantsuit. How does this person show up at a party? And I'm going to write how I would show up at a party if I was wearing that gray pantsuit. Okay, I'm going to talk to 1 to 2 people. You might say different things. This is just you in your not great feeling it state. Don't make things up. I want it to be you. So for example, it could be like, I'm just going to talk to a couple people. I'm going to arrive late, so I hope no one notices me. I'm going to stay in the back of the room. For me, it's different. It's I'm going to go, I've talked to a lot of people, but I'm not going to like really remember names. And I'm going to go there, but not really find connection with people. Everyone, guys, has their own story, okay? So this is not a fairy tale story. I want you to envision when you're not in your zing zone, okay? That's just it. And I'm not discounting the person on the left. Please make no mistake. We are taking some from column A and some from column B. How does this superhero electric person show up? Shows up, it's not a pantsuit, it's like this killer fuchsia jacket, it's a pair of designer jeans, I don't know, white collared shirt open, just so casual, so at ease. Do they walk in? Do they arrive early because maybe they helped organize the event? I don't know. Do they come and like find a couple people they connect with, or do people flock to this person? So you're writing out just a few bullets. And then the next question, here's the next question. Leaving the party, you're You're going to speak at an event. You're behind stage and you're just about to go on stage to 500 people. Write how this person on the left shows up, gray pantsuit or gray suit, and write out 3 bullets. How does that person show up? Just some ideas. This person shows up, they're anxious. They show up 5 hours early because of their anxiety, but they spend 3 of them worrying, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and they're wondering if they're going to nail it and getting a little sweaty. And this person is, they've done this before, they're going to nail it. They're chatting with the backstage people, so at ease, like it's almost like this superhero person's like, oh brother. It's like making you roll your eyes a little bit, but in the kernel of that, guys, there's admiration. There's something you want. And when you put your own face on that person, that's the point of this exercise for a minute. The third thing is, how does this person show up when they enter the door to their home at the end of the day? Okay, so gray pantsuit opens the door. How do they contain, I don't know if there's kids there, a dog, a husband, I don't know, or a wife. So how do you show up? What do you bring home? What are you doing? What is the person on the right, the electric, the tuned in, the tapped in person, probably, how do they show up, and here's what we want to have happen. So just do 3 things. Person on the right shows up, already has crafts for the whole weekend. They've planned their kids' birthday parties ahead of time. They have wine for a romantic evening, like just ridiculous. And then the other side, whatever, is you. So there's nothing bad about either of these things. They both serve a purpose. What you're going to do next, this is a long one, that's why I did it first, okay? What you can do next out of that is understanding these both serve a purpose. You're going to find the similarities. And with the very quick examples that I just did, I know we're live and I don't want to do the entire thing, in full time, is you're going to start to find pieces where you can pull together from both columns and something will show up. From the event, the show up at the party, the gray pantsuit, there was connection with 1 or 2 people. And from the other person, there was connection, but in different ways. People were drawn to her. But in the middle is talks to people, right? The enjoying the process of that, bringing people in and connecting. That's a similarity. And I want you to note that. Maybe they both actually put a lot of thought into their wardrobe. I don't know. So it's like values presentation. Find the similarities. Now's the time to get into your love zone, okay, for both sides. Don't admonish anything about the gray side, and don't judge anything about the superhero side. Can we just do this exercise in full love and appreciation? And when you find the similarities, here's what the next thing you're going to do is you're actually going to start to say goodbye to what's not needed. So here we go. On the show up at the party, I had something like I would arrive late just to avoid being noticed and walked in first, type of thing, okay? If that's typically your behavior, you got to get real with yourself. That's something that I can say goodbye to. That's not needed. Now, on the other side, I had grabbed the microphone and thanked everyone for coming. I don't need that. If that's not part of my personality, or if that's not where you see yourself, you don't need it. Cross it out. And then another example I had is, coming home at the end of the day, I was doing this exercise with someone the other day, and I put like homemade chocolate chips to go in the organic cookies I was making that weekend. And I'm like, you don't need to make the chocolate chips. Like, can we just say, bake some cookies with my kids, and if they burn, who cares, right? Like, but there's something about that. There's something about that go-getter electric personality that I admire. There's something they have. Those are the people that you see in the news, guys. Those are the people that you see on stage doing it. Those are the people that are doing what you said you'd always do. And I want you to put your face on that. And I want you to start seeing how you're already connected to that person. This goes deep. We're going to move on. And you know what's going to happen is when you start to pull those things in the middle, talks to people. Another thing was prepared. They were both very prepared. Family was big on the list of those 2 people for me. So, enjoying connection, talking to people, very prepared, very connected, genuinely, or love to laugh. There was all these things. And 9 times out of 10, your real nature is going to come somewhere in the middle, because we have a version and perception of what we see ourselves as. and there's something entirely different that everyone else is thinking. And I mean in a good way. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you're like, oh, well, you know, you're going along and the other person says to you, oh, really? Like, I thought you guys were really happy. You just always look happy. And I don't mean what you post on Facebook. I just mean like, oh, you just come across as a positive person. I wouldn't have thought that about you, or something like that. There is something that you're not giving yourself credit for. Now, exercise number 2, we're moving on. That's a really fun one. And if you guys want to do that, here's what I'm going to say. If you guys want to actually sit down and do a live one-on-one in a small group with the Tale of Two Heroes, I will offer that as a challenge for February. Actually, as I'm thinking it, I'm going to, you know, I'm saying it. Maybe I'll do this as like a heart-centered thing around Feb 14th where I can actually like bust you guys out of your shell a little bit and step into your heart, but in a branding sense. I like that. See, things just start to come. You're acting, you know, you're doing your thing. You're stepping into your zone, and that's what happens. Anyway, 50 stack. This is the next exercise. I use this term a lot. Those who I coach, you'll understand what I mean. And those who have coached me use this term a lot. Coffee break. I'm going to check in with you guys. Okay, don't see any comments yet. No big deal. Here's what we're going to do. Now I want you to picture your version of success, helping people. You're picturing, you know, notice we haven't even covered the how right now. It's not where we're at yet with this personal brand that we're kind of exploring here. You are already killing it at work. Killing it at work. You have a picture already in your head what that means. Killing it at work. So I'm not even going to give you examples. You're killing it. That means income is flowing in. Okay, people are finding you. You're having impact. You're either changing lives. You're seeing results in clients. You are getting the speaking gigs. You're seeing your name pop up. Your Google search is crazy because you're at so many places, or you know, you've really worked hard at your authentic thought leadership. Just like killing it at work. Now, if that may or may not be your situation right now, I want you to really think about some times in your life where you really brought it and you had that sense. We all have that sense. I call it goosebumps, God bumps. I talk with people on the phone. We collaborate on an idea and it really locks in and resonates. You get goosebumps. Those moments when you're killing it, when you're in the zone, however you want to describe it. I want you to start a list of 50, and there is about 25 to 30 lines on a piece of paper. So this would be a 2-sided piece of paper. We're not going to do it all now. This is what I have college students do when I come in and go in and talk to the college. This is the item that every line is going to start with that time when. And you're going to list every time in your life when you basically stepped into your awesomeness. And I'm talking about, and you can do this right now, I'm going to give us a little bit of a time, 30 seconds. It's not going to be long. And we're going to do that. It's that time when, and I'm going to get going and you're going to hear what I'm saying and you're actually going to follow along. That time when, and I'm going to go way back too, guys, from like to childhood to like last week. Like it doesn't matter. Okay, that time when I visited, you know, the old folks' home and made personalized cards with my kids. That time when I saw my client step on stage for the first time and she cried. That time when I was in 5th grade and I jumped off my friend Christy's bike and I chased someone that was bullying her. That time when, true story, I don't know what came over me. I just knew it wasn't right. And see, that time when something fires you up, that time when, whatever, I connected with my brother and sister on our last visit. That time when I took my niece aside and really poured into her when she was feeling isolated during COVID. That time when I had a client email me that I've changed their life. That time when I helped that person, you know, grow their income from 1K to 6K per month. That time when, whatever it is, I want you to like get into the old, get into the new, get into the awesome, because there have been moments in your life that you need to pull on, and you're going to need those as reference when you stand into your personal brand. You're going to need those as reference and reminders. You get better at this. It's hard at first. We're going to move on. So that's your 50 stack. You guys still with me? Get a coffee or something? Okay. To Google or not to Google? Well, obviously when it comes to your personal brand, you need to Google yourself. So, you know, you can go do that. And that's going to bring up good things for you. That's going to bring up bad things for you. I don't know what it's going to bring up. Either way, there's going to be some contrast somewhere that you're going to sift through. Because what it means is this is all about how you're perceived in the public. Google doesn't know everything. I'm not saying they know your personality and they think you're a bad person. I'm saying, how has your business shown up in the news lately? How have you shown up at, you know, in your community as an expert lately? That's what I mean. But that aside, you can also choose to go a little more inward with this on the non-business side and just un-Google yourself and use Google like your neighbors and your, or, you know, neighbors that you know well, or your family. 5 people from different viewpoints. Tell them that one word comes to mind when they think of you. One word. Write it down. Tell them you're doing some silly experiment. You know, like these are the neighbors I love because they're perfect. Like, you know enough about each other that you like. You don't know everything about the person. And family members, colleagues, a loose tie. You know what I mean? Spouses can get a little emotionally involved. So, and a little bit sensitive. I'm just going to warn you. But hey, ask your husband or ask your wife. Go ahead. And here's the thing. We're not looking for compliments. There is no negative feedback. If someone comes up there, if you're getting a theme, you're looking for themes, you're looking for patterns. So 5 people might not be enough. You might get over yourself a little and be like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm doing this experiment. You know, you could even say like, well, my coach told me to do this. Do you mind? This is a stupid question. Can I ask if you could describe me in one word? What would it be? And then it's their gut. Okay. It's their gut. It's their gut word. Don't give them time to think about it, and because they're going to make you feel bad and then they change their mind. It's so cool because there's no negative feedback. And if you're getting a lot of like, oh, you certainly know how to speak your mind, or you're definitely, you know, I don't know, pushy, or I don't know, like if you're getting anything that traditionally society would constitute as negative, or put in the negative pile, the positive pile, the negative pile, don't do that. I want you to take out the exercise we did. It's not negative, positive. Me bad, superhero better. It's not that. It's not good, bad, good, bad. Put them all, you know, put them all in, what you want to do is put all the negative in one column and the positive in the other. Then I actually want you to write the positive version of that word, what else it could mean. So pushy or whatever is like a, you know, great leader. I know what people need to do before they do. Okay, we need to spin this. We need to spin our own stories and not spin it into gold and fake stuff. I'm talking, you have to stop viewing your negatives, what you call negatives, as negatives, and use them to fuel your business. Use them to fuel how you're going to help people. You are not anybody else. You are your own being. And the feedback people give you, those are the gifts you have been given. And all I do, guys, honest to God, the first 2 weeks I work with people, I sift through their gifts. I sift through their gifts. And they don't even know what biases they're using and how they're viewing the world. They've deleted stuff out. And I'll get to that in a minute. You've deleted whole chunks of your life out because it doesn't suit what you think you should be and do. But people, other people can see, and you have to not be afraid of that. So that's the 3rd exercise. That's my un-Google exercise. Again, there's no negative feedback. So here we go. Criticism, this is just a little quote I thought was nice. Criticism, like rain, should be enough to nurture a person's growth without destroying their roots. And I think the first person that has to do that is us. We have to stop taking feedback and negativity, depending on the way it's delivered, right? We have to look to the intention, okay? Yeah, there's jerks out there. Honestly, they'll slight you. They'll give a little jab when they can. But let's not overdo it with this exercise at least, and let's use it to nourish ourselves and build up and have more confidence in who we've become, rather than let us go, I know, I should, I know. No. There's none of that when you're on track to just owning this, okay? Last word here, experience versus expertise. How are we doing? We're about half hour in. I'm probably going to try and get this in like another 10 minutes. I'm giving you a heads up. So the last word here, experience versus expertise. We need to stop. Now, I've written on this. This is one of my big platforms. When I go to talk to things like companies about scaling their business, they've gotten through the growth phase. They're ready to do more. Just same as consultants and people that are ready to go beyond growth and really start to move up. You have to get away from the experience language and you have to get into your expertise language. It also touches a little on my webinar. The first shift you need to make in becoming and stepping into your authority is letting go of ego. When people talk to experience, this is what it sounds like. I've done this. I have great experience here. I've worked with companies that. I've helped to shift this. I've helped it. Now, I'm not talking about your 50 stack. Get selfish. Don't worry about that. This is I'm talking now in terms of marketing. Okay, shift. When you're in terms of marketing, the thing I want you to take away is people who stick in talking about like our company has done for the last 30 years and they have used that tired line for the last whatever 10 years. We were voted talking about like what they've done and how much they've done and who they worked with. Yeah, of course that's important when you're at a certain level. But when thought leadership is in play, people want thought leaders who speak to insights and opinion. This comes with expertise. So experience, think of that as your resume. Your expertise is your magic, is your impact. Experience, think of that as your resume, what you would put on a resume. Expertise, let's start thinking of that as impact and magic, okay? What's a better way to put this? Because I speak to this. I speak to this a lot. I speak to this in my course. So I'm trying to figure out a way. It's what it's about is people are now, they're not going to be hiring you to fix this little thing and then move on, They're going to be following you and coming back to you because they know you're someone that can solve issues and you have found a way to use your expertise to make their life easier. They need to be around you because you have demonstrated that you have insights they don't have. Yes, because of your experience. But what I'm saying is that experience has brought you expertise, okay? Shift it from experience to how are you going to demonstrate that in expertise? And I know in the past I've had questions on that one. And that's just a little bit of word. What to say, we're going to cover really quickly. And I think I'm going to maybe end it after here. I wanted to talk to social media a little bit too, like put your brand on social media. What to say, I have one more exercise all about own your messages. Guess what? That's one of my messages. Own your messages. Own who you are. Say it in a unique way that's just you. That's when you don't have to worry about the competition because I have such solid foundation and proven research messages that holy crap, I sound different. People know what I do and I'm using these and banging these all day long and I will, so that I'm the expert in this, okay? So 5 great questions. And if you want to catch us on the replay and pause this screen, that's good too because I'm just going to run through it. 5 great questions to ask. These were written for people that were still employed that actually wanted to personal brand themselves into a different career or a higher position at their company. So please keep that in mind, but I've kept them in because this works for either. 5 great questions. And then the answers are on the other side. What is something I always say, you, meaning you, not Amanda. What is something I always say, or what is something I grew up hearing? This will take you a minute. So, don't try to accomplish it while I'm blabbering on. What is something I always say? You always say. What's something you grew up hearing? Positive, negative. Okay. Funny, not funny, doesn't matter. Next question. What is something I would never do at work? Or what's something I've seen other people do in their business that I just don't, that I don't believe in. Okay, it's something you've seen at work. It's some ways you see a situation being handled, a person being handled, a topic being handled, a meeting being run, a client being dealt with, whatever it is. What is something you would never do at work? Like I would never, or have seen others do at work. I'm talking about your life experience now. Third question: if you had to pick a song and describe you going to work, what would it be? If you had to pick a song describing you going to work, and in this case, we're in COVID, so it's like getting up on a Monday morning, like putting on my boots. I'm not saying make up a song. I'm just like going to work might mean waking up, putting on yoga clothes, and coming down and coaching, like doing something on your computer or serving clients from home, maybe eating breakfast, maybe not, but like, what is that routine? What is that thing that would describe it? And there's a lot of funny answers this could be. Yeah, I don't know, you can Google songs about work, and I'm trying to think of one that came up. Well, working 9 to 5, blah, blah, right? Obviously, you punch the clock, punch out, punch out. I mean, just have some fun with this. Number 4, have you had a great boss or mentor? Okay, what did you like about the way he or she did things? I'd also ask, if you had a great boss, what did you like about the way they did things or ran things? If you had a great mentor, what did you like about the way he or she worked with you, I guess? You know what I mean? So what do you like about the way, in other words, conducted themselves or did things or showed up, is another way to say this. You know, a great boss for some people could be like, God, they were so organized and they always knew everybody's name. Or it could be like, oh, they were just so easygoing that I never felt pressure, but yet everyone got their work, whatever. Okay, there's lots of qualities, no good or bad. And last, if you didn't have to work to earn a living, the big one, what course or hobby would you focus on 24/7? I love that one. Oh my goodness. Oh, for me, it has to be doing something with kids and performance and music. It just has to. Yeah, and youth, and yeah. Anyway, so things will come up for you, or like your art. You know, my gosh, I would get in my studio and just paint all day, whatever it is. Here's the answers, okay? 5 great questions leads to 5 great answers. That first question I had you ask could be your answer to this sentence. Well, I have always believed. So that thing you always grew up hearing, the thing you always got said to you, yeah, I've just always believed, blah. I've just always believed, blah, because maybe that internally has become a belief for you. Again, we're not sorting the good, we're not sorting the bad here. It's going to be all in front of you. This is the good, bad, and the ugly. You might, I guess I've just always believed that I'm going to make a lot of money. Yeah, because I don't know, I just always believe it. Or I just always believe that you got to work really hard if you want to be successful. Like that it's always 9 to 5. I don't know. I just heard that growing up. I heard that from my teachers. I've always believed. Okay. This second question, you get where I'm going with this. What is something I'd never do or seen things do? This is your values. What I value in my work is blank. This could be what I really value when it comes to people's work is this. What I value when I walk into the office, what I value when I run my team in my work with my clients is this: trust, openness, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever the opposite of that thing is that you tasted. Number 3, the song could be fun. I'm the type of person that approaches my work life like, are you working 9 to 5, checking in and out and all the words? I don't know. Or if it's is it, are you very gregarious? Like, is your work, that song Free Fallin', and I'm free fallin'? I'm thinking of Tom Cruise in that movie. But I don't know, is that your work life? Like, I just did this to be free. I just feel like it can be easy. I'm the type of person that approaches my work life like that's the song I put on in the morning. Okay, great. 4th, I appreciate working for a company that will. Now, again, this is a career-focused exercise. Have you had a great boss or mentor? Yeah. You could also change this to, I appreciate working with someone this way, you know, like, or I want my clients to appreciate me working with them, someone who will blank. I like my clients to work with someone who is blank, and just start to like feel this is about your appreciation. You really appreciated those qualities. You appreciated that in your work. You appreciated how they showed up for you. So maybe a better answer would be, I show up this way. I would really appreciate if I could show up this way for my clients, something like that. And then last, my true passion would be, and obviously this is your hobbies, your life, because there is no personal professional. Okay, lastly, and I'm going to wrap this up. This is a 45-minute little mini masterclass you're getting. It's longer than I thought. And love, if you're still with me, I love you. And last, let's just do this quick, okay? Where should it go, right? Yeah, I've learned a lot about myself, blah, blah, blah. Let's just talk about social media really quick, okay? Love it, hate it. I'm going to tell you this. Social media is the gateway to your brand, your experience, and your future success. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, okay? It's how you use it that it's going to work for you or not. Use it intentionally and purposefully. When you do that, it does not have to be overwhelming, confusing, emotional, and all these other things that social media can bring to us. It may just be some boundaries you need to put in place, but I'm telling you, in this day and age, you are going to be using it in more than one ways if you want to make yourself known as an expert. Okay, social media is the way you share your professional content. It's the way you share and distribute the interviews you've done. Yes, there's also other ways to do this via email and other more personal channels and direct ways, newsletters, but we're bygone the day of print. I mean, no one else is going to get news from you if not on an electronic format. It's the way that you share your insights. It's the way you deliver content. There is a plethora. It is free. It is available. And it is something you need to come to terms with now, if you haven't. And then something about choosing wisely. Putting your personal brand online takes courage and clarity. When you have found a way to mesh all those things you are in your brand, like this is how I help people, this is what I want to do, you are going to want, when you found that click, you're going to want to put yourself out there. You're going to need it. You're going to need and want to help people and clients. Even if you're working for companies, it's the channels, okay? So once you're clear which way your career or your focus wants to go, then you choose the channel, all right? Then you choose the channel. Don't go for Instagram because everyone and his uncle's on Instagram. You got to go for Instagram if it makes sense. Obviously, what does this depend on? Your audience, your client base, okay? When you are an expert, you niche yourself. And here's a question I got recently. Okay, I don't know whether to target like companies and where I can like speak, or actually go down to the person I can help. You know, which. First of all, we would need to get you clear on that. Yeah, there's room for both. The answer to that is we look at where the income comes from. That generates, you know, how much energy you put into each and how you show up on each channel. The answer can be both. It could also be not necessary. Here's where the passion and money is. Just focus here. I mean, I have those conversations all the time. But once you're clear, you can choose where you go. I'm going to cap it at 1 to 2 because you take on what you can and then just go where you feel the most comfortable. I have never been on Pinterest. I have no idea, blah, 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 recipes scare me, da, da, da. Okay, let's take this slow and start on Instagram. And then, you know, maybe build up your stuff on another channel. But listen, there's no clear and hard rules here, guys, especially when you're building something. A lot of this is going to be trial and error. You have to be comfortable showing up. You have to be comfortable showing up. It takes practice writing and posting. That's a secondary skill, one that I teach, but it's a secondary skill. I wouldn't worry about that right now. And I think, I don't know, yeah, be intentional. So I'll leave it here with, because I think a lot of you would be like, I don't know what to put my business on my personal or my personal on my business. I know how to answer that in this group because we're not talking, oh, I have a side hustle and I sell earrings. We're talking to you people who are all in the business of, I want to make a difference, impact, bigger money on stages, influencing industry. Yes or no, right? I can be, I want to do that. I just don't know how, but that's why I'm here. Good, I'm speaking to you people. Perfect. So we're just going to be more intentional about social media, aren't we? It's going to be like up to you whether it makes sense all over your personal page. If it's, you know, the kids and the puppies and the family, that's great. And the photo shoots, I love it. Yes, you need to add personality into your business more than I'll make a bold statement. You need to add personality into your business more than you need to take your business and throw it into your personal channel. How's that sound? That's my answer. Okay? I've done this long enough that I know that that doesn't harm, but it actually can help. Got it? So you can take elements of personal. You need to bolster your business with more personal, more than you need to just dump your business on your personal page. It just comes down to audience. It comes down to audience. You be like, oh, hand up. Nope, not for me. I get it. We're not having a dialogue right now, so I get that. Like, of course, if I don't know what you're selling, I don't know what you're doing. So that's just the general rule. And I want you to, if you're having trouble feeling overwhelmed with social media, let's get intentional about how you're using it. Because for a lot of people, social media is your escape. You use it on your lunch break to just take you into la la land and scroll. And you take it when you're like, your kids are just jumping around at night because it's before bedtime and it's the crazy time, and that's just your blah with a glass of wine. All fine. It's as long as you can compartmentalize that and say, this is fine and it's not getting to me and I'm not stressed out doing this because I am so clear. I have an escape plan over here. I have an escape plan because I know what my business has to do online. That is clear. In fact, I mapped it out. I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning and I don't have to worry about it. So enjoy the escape, but it can be your escape plan. Social media can be your escape plan. And here's with the business, how you can be more intentional on social media, not the scrolling flippity times. You might even get bored with that. Like I'm rarely on social for just, social engagement. But devote each day to one of these: engagement, introductions, or create. You engage, you introduce, or you create. Can we just keep it to that? You're gonna feel so much less overwhelmed with marketing on social media if you as a business owner can just use it for those three things. Engaging, you're going to be joining groups. You're going to be understanding your competition. You're going to be researching companies who are already online doing what you're doing. And the page already looks sort of kind of what you want to do. You're going to be reading articles that you happen to have come across your feed, making note of the publication, fitting your message in. I could speak to that too. Approach them later. You're going to be making introductions. You're going to do outreach. You're going to comment on people's feeds. You're going to introduce yourself maybe with a question, and you're going to connect, okay? You can connect on all channels, absolutely. You can bring those conversations over into a DM, absolutely. You can do business without, you can do it intentionally and genuinely. Then the last thing you do is you're going to create online. You're going to show some of your best stuff on the channels you've chosen with your business to be very intentional about. Posts. You're going to post a lot of celebrations, and you're going to do create your hot list. This was an exercise over Christmas I had you guys do, and it was creating a list of everyone that's come across your feeds. I'm not sure how I explained it. Everybody who's come across your feed and did who you wanted to connect with in the new year. And I did mine. It was a list of, well, at least 20. It turned into 20 because I had a chunk of people in there, but I had only said do like 12, and you reach out like once a week this new year. And I probably only, I'll be honest, reached out to 2. So we're on week 3 and I haven't reached out to that third person. So I'm going to do that. But it can be intentional. It can be intentional, and you can add to that hot list. So engage, introduce, and create. You're like, I don't know how to do my business online and with social. Have you done something to engage today? Yeah, great. Have you introduced yourself somewhere? No, go do that. Have you created something really purposeful? No, but I can do that tomorrow. Great. So we don't have to make it so overwhelming. Okay, personal versus professional, I covered. Decide ahead of time where that's going to be. Decide where the lifestyle fits into the business brand. Decide where the family, if it belongs with the business brand. Do the hobbies relate to the business or not? Put yourself basically in your ideal customer's shoes is how I do it. And the last word, guys, is consistency versus constant. And we'll finish on this note. When you are using social media, it's important to be consistent more than constant. And this is the principle about write less, think more. Think about your main priority messages. Think about the brand and how you want to package yourself as an expert moving forward, which hopefully you've got some clarity from today. Think about how, that's the how you deliver it, okay? Everything, the earlier exercises were all about like, how are you going to package yourself? What's the type of leader you're going to show up as today? And you're going to not be on constantly, you're going to use it consistently. I'd rather you put it in a schedule than worry about everything flying across your feed. So it's intention, it's purpose, and it's being consistent. That also means use the same message, talk about the same stuff, understand your niche, understand people's pain points. Don't go off topic, don't go out of your lane. So this has been a lot of fun. Lots of, I guess, work. And it does take action, a little bit of this. And this is a little exercise or a little message at the end. I said, how do you get there? You know, do the most important thing first. And then step 2, do it till it's done. Okay? If I can leave you with anything else, that was just a little motivator of grit versus action. And we all have things to do. Our task lists are enormous. Even this today, you're probably going to have to come back and schedule this into your day. If it's important to you, you will do it. And this is the key to feeling more success and more fulfillment in your business. It's the key between people that feel overwhelmed and satisfied. It's the difference between people who are struggling and fulfilled. Doing one thing that's important to the growth of your business and doing it till it's done and checking that box off at the end of the day is going to help you do that. So this was a lot. And thank you for sticking around. So this obviously will be, I'll package this up, and this is going to be content. This is content for anyone who you think should hear the message and they want a free 52-minute masterclass. Just join them in the group and be like, there's this great piece of content in there, you got to check it out. Invite them in. If there's anyone who is ready, who is resonating what I've said in this call about, I'm ready to be, put my message out there, and all those things you said about getting on channels in the right way and organizing my thoughts, but also getting recognized, like asked for interviews and shoring up my content, that's what I want, then that's who I work with. So I have put a link in the description, and that's the link you can use to book a call with me this month and take that learning to the next level. Like, what's that about? What does it involve? And you know, where do we go from here? I would love to chat with you. So thanks, guys. So glad we did this today. And I hope to see a lot of you back here and hear your comments or what resonated with you. And we will talk to you guys again real soon. I'll just post in here tomorrow. And enjoy your day. You know, spend some time understanding yourself. Give yourself some grace through this stuff. And it's not as hard getting there as some of us have made it to be. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.